Fin Jamal is a Malaysian singer, writer, and English language lecturer who's based in Kazakhstan. More than a year ago, she adopted a baby from one of her fans, who got in touch after the popular figure posted a Facebook status requesting for more information on adoption. Before Bhakti Arjuna Fitri came into her life, Fin had made several attempts to adopt, but waiting lists were too long and some arrangements just didn't come true. In this episode of Kini Talk, Fin shares her story. How did you come to the decision to adopt, and then where did that go from there?
Okay, growing up, I've always been sick. I know, like if I can say, my menstrual cycle is always problematic, and then, like I was born with inverted womb. It's not normal, but it's very common. Like maybe I do not know the ratio, but there are so many women out there, girls out there who are born with that. So I have always been prepared. Not having a kid. So when I got married, I told my husband, before we got married, I told him, like we might have a baby, but then again he said it's okay. So we've been considering of adopting since forever. So the first few years was okay lah, quite hard because people in Malaysia, they like to ask questions, when are you gonna have babies and everything, but kita orang macam lantar buat tak kisah. But then again, there's this one day in Kazakhstan, my favorite uncle, he died. And I was so sad because, I was not there when he died. And then I realized how lonely I am and how easy people just come and go in life. So I told my husband, okay, I think we're ready. And then my husband said, okay, whenever you said you want it.
So in terms of how the adoption took place, so she contacted you, she consented, did you have to go to the courts? Was there a hearing?
Oh yes, that's what I did. She contacted me when I was in Kazakhstan still. So I said, if you want to give it to, because I'm talking from experience. So many times, like dah jaga the parents, and then suddenly masa baby dah lahir, sorry, it's my motherly instinct, I do not want to give it to you. So many times after money's been spent, after, of course, the mother cakap, tak payahlah belanja, it's okay, I do not want money. But then again, susah lah nak bayar ni. So of course, we want the baby. We want to show them that, hey, I am able to help you financially, so you should give your baby to me. It's not buying the baby, it's just like to show you that I'm worthy of your baby, like that. No, so many times tak jadi. So with this mother, I told her, if you want to give me this baby, I want you to promise me when I got back to Malaysia, the first week, we are going to settle all paperwork. And I said, if you said no, I do not want the baby. I'm so sorry because I've been heartbroken so many times. And she said, okay. So when we get back to Malaysia, the baby was born earlier 1 week. So he was born when I was in Kazakhstan still. So I came back, I see him in my arms and everything. So even though the mother was still in Pantang, we went up and down to settle the papers and everything, just in case. It was easy. I am so happy to say it is easy to handle paperwork, when it comes to adoption in Malaysia. You just have to be transparent, and that's it. Because I think everybody wants the best for the kid, for the child, right? So if the mother's there and then there's a willing adoptive parent, why would the government say no? So I think they're doing a good job.
I understand for Muslim adoptions, though, it takes 2 years before you can...
Probation.
Yeah, what's the process like? So
in 2 years, you have to, after 2 years of taking care of the child, you are supposed to go for this interview, and they are going to observe you and how you handle your child and everything. They want to see whether you're fit or not. But then again, normally after 2 years, like everybody, who would not love a child after you take care of them 2 years, right? When I got the baby, he was okay. But then again, after 2 weeks, at the age of 3 weeks, we detected my son had a heart problem. So that is how Malaysia knew my son. He had to go. To what do you call that? Open heart surgery, because dia ada lubang dalam jantung dia. and I had to find, you know, like a certain amount of funds, and Malaysia helped me. Within 24 hours, we got the money, the funds. Malaysia is superbly awesome.
What did you do? So you put out a call on...
I just posted a status because my followers has been with me for so many years, and they know how hard it is for me. They know how much I love kids, and they know how much I've been helping kids out there, finding parents and everything. You know, like I'm very vocal about it, like I said earlier. So when they see finally I'm adopting, they were like happy for me. And then when they knew that my son, the adopted son, is sick, and I'm looking for a fund to help my son, everybody was helping. Everybody. So can you imagine? Within 24 hours, I got 40,000 ringgit, and that is why right now, if you know, like anybody forwarded me what do you call a formal, not formal, yang sahih punya macam fundraising causes, I would do the same thing, because for me, you know, like Malaysia did the same to my son, I'm gonna do that too.
So how's your son doing now?
Oh, he's doing great. He's very active. You know, like every child after heart surgery operation, they're gonna go double. Yes, double speed, double everything. Oh my God, he's hyper. I love him being hyper. It shows me that he's not sick.
How old is he now?
He's 1 month. 1 year and 1 month.
Okay, so everything's no more health problems, all alright?
No more health problem. Oh my God, no more. When he was born, he was quite dark. I thought it was, you know, I said, oh, okay, my son is quite tan. I made a joke about it. But then again, I realized it's actually one of the symptoms. He was actually bluish. It's not dark, it's bluish because he doesn't get the oxygen. It was really hard because, you know, my summer break is always 1 month, 1 month and a half. So can you imagine, you know, in 1 month and a half, I have to, you know, like settle all the adoption thingy, and then I have to, you know, go for this operation with the kid and everything. It was overwhelming. But then again, I think, you know, like this happened to the best of us. You know, like I know I can handle all this because I just want to show to my God, you know, like I really want this child.
So how has your life been since adopting your son?
Astaghfirullahalazim, mashallah. I think there's nothing else that I want anymore. There's nothing else. I am so happy. Oh my God. And I'm so happy. At first, I thought people are going to, you know, like question me about my son's status, because there's this status, you know, like status anak tidak sah taraf. There's a status for kids out of wedlock. Do you know that? Yeah, and I find it really sad because
What's the status?
It's usually used. The jargon is not commonly used. You know, I do not know why. In paperwork and everything, even in articles. So when they say anak tidak sah taraf, you know, like it's like too big for them to actually hear. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I told everybody my son is out of wedlock, and I'm not ashamed of it. So if you feel that anybody want to, you know, like talk to me about it, or to accuse me about it, or say things about it, I'm gonna fight for it. Because for me, it's never about the child's fault. They are born pure. And even if people say, oh, we have to blame the parents, who are we to blame anyone about everything? Things happen for a reason. If, say for example, the parents are married and they have this baby, I'm not going to have my baby then. Isn't it? Everything happens for a reason. So after being vocal about it, being vocal about how I am very comfortable having a son who is out of wedlock, and I treat him like a normal child, gradually people see that, hey, it's normal to have an out of wedlock child.
So in terms of your son, are you going to raise him with the knowledge that he's been adopted and where he's come from?
I have no intention of lying where he comes from. I even contact the mom and the dad from time to time. I want him to feel it's okay to have 2 moms and 2 dads. It's just that circumstances made him stay with me. You know, it's going to be harder to tell the kid at the age of 13 or 14 or 15, because we've been there, we've been young, we've been rebel. You know, like I do not want my child to be rebel. I'm gonna tell him that, you know, from earlier on. You know, I'm gonna tell him that you're not from here, but you're just from here.
Okay, so what would your advice be to parents or to who are considering adopting in Malaysia?
Okay. If you want, like I said earlier, number one, financial. You know, because this is a choice. Adopting is a choice. I'm not asking you to be super rich to adopt. No. I'm asking you to think. If you have problems feeding yourself, why burden a baby? You understand? Because, you know, raising a child these days is expensive. You have to think about the milk. You have to think about the clothes and everything. You know, so if you are not fit financially, hold on. Just wait. Do not haste into things. Number two, if you're Muslim, consider breastfeeding. It's for because if you can actually breastfeed your child even if you do not give birth to them. Do you know that?
How do you do that?
We can take pills. There are. It's really hard. It just took me 2 weeks to produce milk. Yeah. And in Islam, you know, if you breastfeed a child, you know, you are anak susuan. Anak susuan is somewhat similar to a mother and to a birth mother and a birth child. You know, like, and it's beautiful. Subhanallah, it's beautiful if you breastfeed your adopted child. So you feel that connection. And then number three, if you want to adopt, stop asking questions. If you start asking questions, who is this baby from, blah, 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 then this child would be brought up, you know, like fearing to make mistakes. Because every time he or she make mistakes, the adoptive parents would start questioning, is this how the parents are? You know, you understand what I'm saying? Because, you know, because if it's our child, we can blame ourselves. Oh, aku dulu nakal, so that's why anak aku nakal like this. But if we raise another person's child, you cannot help asking yourself, ni mesti mak dia macam ni perangai dulu. Something like that. Do you understand? It's a stigma that we need to erase. We need to stop. What more? Love. I think love. If you want to adopt, you need love. If you adopt just because you want to cover, you know, like the mouth of people keep on asking you when you're gonna have a baby, blah 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 blah, don't adopt, because you're not doing fairness to the child. You know, like, yeah. Yes.
I guess the thing is, because one of the things we were looking at is there's supposed to be 400,000 kids in orphanages, or 2,000 orphanages. So we're really trying to why some Malaysians aren't keen to adopt. And
yeah. Can I say something else too? If I'm living in Malaysia, I don't mind adopting a grown-up child. I see this fascination of adopting only babies, which is sad, because there are kids out there who, you know, like at the age of 7, 8, 9, they do not have anyone to talk to. You know, like, it's really hard. They're gonna be super lonely. Oh my God, I cannot talk about this. I'm gonna cry. Don't just adopt babies. Don't just adopt babies. You know, like, I know it's harder. It is harder because, you know, like, older kids, they know how to think. They start asking more questions and everything, and sometimes they develop certain characteristics, and it doesn't fit a family and everything like that. But then again, we can try, right? You know, like, if you have enough love, I think you can. I'm gonna adopt more when my son asks me to find a brother or a sister, because, you know, like, right now, I want him to feel enough love. If I, you know, start having, you know, this, you know, massive shopping spree of kids, you know, I might not be able to be ideal to him. So once he said he wants a baby brother or baby sister, I'm gonna be there. You know, okay, pick one. Yeah, it's healthy to have siblings. You know, like, I know it's gonna. Bayangkan anak tunggal pun boleh rasa lonely. Imagine the kids out there at the orphanage who doesn't even have parents to tell their problems. Oh God. Yeah, please, Malaysia. You know, like, jangan memilih. Kalau you go there, you go to the orphanage and then you look. Sometimes you have to look. All it takes is just one glance and then you would feel it here. Like the first time when I see my son. You know, the first time I see him, I know he's my son. You know, like, if you are looking for kids out there, parents, go look at the eyes of the kids. If somewhat you feel like, oof, this is my son or this is my daughter, take him or her home.